Hey there, and welcome to the ADK Rock and Metal channel. I, of course, am Dave Does, and today I have with me Nyrobi from Alt Blk Era. Hi, Nyrobi, how are you today?
Hi, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm wonderful. First of all, thank you for taking the time out of your day to have a chat with me. It's always greatly appreciated when people do. We know everyone's very, very busy, and I know you are at the moment.
Yes, I mean, it feels like with the new year starting, everything is happening all at once and it's amazing. I mean, we just got off the Pendulum tour in November, and
Mm.
that was just 5 weeks of get up and go, 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 go. And then we had like a little break over Christmas, and now it's like, you know what, stop playing around. We've got music to release, we've got things to do, and it's just, yeah,
It
crazy.
never ends. And you just dropped your new single today, Tissues, which I mentioned to you before we went on to air. Really good video, really good song. Really enjoyed checking that out, and we'll have a reaction. Will have either come out before this or after this. I
Okay.
don't know. Depends on
Nice.
when we edit the videos down. But yeah, really, really good video. Really enjoyed that. And you've got tons of other music videos on your YouTube channel, which I really like because there are so many bands out there that only have like one or two music videos. You've got plenty, plus you've got loads of other little clips and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So strongly recommend if you haven't already gone onto the YouTube channel, go and check it out because it's very, very good. Um, we're going to get into some details talking about it, but I guess the first thing to talk about will be to help people understand Alt Black Era. It's very difficult to put you into a genre.
Yeah.
Um, I was looking at it because obviously when I looked at your bio, it said rock duo from Nottingham. I went, okay. Then I read a few other bits and I went, well, there's rock in it, but I wouldn't call you just a rock duo. There is, and
Yeah.
then I read things like trap and dance. I was like, yeah, I can hear that, and there's pop elements and there's huge amounts of variety. So I would have almost just gone alternative band. I would call you alternative because
Yeah.
it covers a very wide range alternative. It doesn't
Yes.
really stand for much else. But if you were trying to describe your music and your performance to someone who's never seen you before, how would you best put it to them?
Oh, because I feel like the word alternative is so broad. Like it could be indie, or it could be like when we do like really, really like hard rock. So I'd say it's on a song by song basis with us always. Um, but the consistent elements through it is like strong guitars, a solid bass line, and then I guess the contrast between mine and my sister's vocals. Like I've
Mm.
got a much bassier voice, and I like to rap, so I'll probably be doing the raps or the kind of like harmonies, whereas my sister's like the lead singer, I'd say, like of the band. So you can really hear like the duality,
Yes,
song
you
by
do.
song,
Yeah.
of our voices. So that's like the things that stand out the most.
And that is really nice, actually, listening to your stuff, is to hear the complementary and comparison of the vocals.
Yeah.
So it's really nice to see that. I mean, talking about yourself personally before we talk about the because we will of course get to talking about the future plans, what's on this year, etc. We kind of get that near the end of the
Yeah.
interview part, but I'm really interested for you as a musician yourself. I love to understand from about the artists their history or their journey through music.
Mm.
So I like to go, what is your earliest memory of music being in your life? Do you happen to, was there a song that you went, that's it. I remember not just background music. There's a song that you were like, I love this. This is great.
This is great. There was this we did a songwriting class when I was maybe
Hmm.
like maybe 8 or 9,
Okay.
and it was with loads of other people, but they weren't as interested in music as I was, so I pretty much did the song by myself, and I think it's very Old Black Era in the sense that it had singing in it, it had rapping in it. It didn't have any guitars yet because our guitar law didn't drop until like 2020, which we can get into a bit later.
Right.
But
Okay.
but yeah, it had like all the vocal elements as Alt Black Era does now. And then I was like, this is fire. And I remember when we performed it, because I'd written like 99% of it, we stood there as a group, but it was just me singing.
Just you. Everyone just
It's
humming in the
just
background.
it was just me singing. And I remember thinking, no. the adults, I mean, this is me at like 8 years old. I was like, no, all the adults are smiling. They think this is amazing. I'm clearly on something. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
And I was like, from then on, I think I just started feeling more confident about like, oh, I can actually write a song and it's not just
Mm.
something that people like, Leonie Lewis and Brianna can do, because that's who I was listening to when I was little. But no, I can be a songwriter too. Cool. And then from then it was just deep dive into it.
Yeah. Because have you always, as long as you can remember, always known that you wanted to do music, be a musician of some sort, be a singer, or is it something where you heard something when you were a kid that made you go, apart from obviously doing the creative writing class, but probably before that, that made you go, I'm really into music. I want to be a singer.
Yeah, I think it's one of those forever things, and I mean I don't want to put a date on it to like how old I was, but
Mm.
everyone around me has always known, and like so in like year 6 you do like the yearbook thing and it's like most likely to, and mine was always
Yes.
like most likely to win X Factor.
Oh, okay.
So it was like a school wide thing and knowledge, like Nairobi. I was at the talent shows at school, and then like in the sports day I'd always like be singing or something,
Mm.
and it's one of those things that I've been excited by it in all the aspects of music, and I think that my love from it spread from singing to songwriting to then like start to play instruments. Then it was piano, then bass guitar, and then drums. And I didn't
Okay.
really get on with acoustic guitar because the bar chords hurt my fingers and I quit like a quitter. But apart from that, I actually love playing instruments, and then it became into more like bringing my sister on board, and it just got bigger and bigger, and learning
Mm.
about the industry as a whole.
'Cause how does that work as far as songwriting? Because you've kind of started to answer a bit of it in that question there. Because when I think about bands and as a general band, if there's a five-piece band, drums, guitar, bass, etc., and you see them as a unit, and you go, right, well, band writing's either going to be one person writes it and everyone ends up learning their parts, or you jam it. But obviously, it being you and your sister, so how does the songwriting process go from an idea in your head to a finished product? Who's involved? How does that come together?
Well, me and Shay write like 100% of the songs just between us, so it's always us. I think in the early days, so before we had like access to a studio, we had it's not I can't even call it a piano. It was
Hmm.
a keyboard and an electric drum kit because my mum didn't want to hear all that noise coming
Yeah.
from a mini drum kit. And what we would do is it'd be a compilation of we had one of those little iPods back in the day. I'm talking those tiny, tiny little iPods that don't do much nowadays, but we
Mm.
would like mess around with chords on the keyboard, lay a little beat, and then just like sing over it and hum melodies. I'd probably take the lead on like the melodies when we were first starting out because my sister was always on the keyboard. That was like her thing. So she'd like hit random notes. I'd sing a few bits, and then by the time we graduated to studio level, we always kind of kept the same structure. So we always write our songs at home in that same kind of like decade-old formula, and then we
Right.
just go into the studio and create it in a more professional environment with
Yeah,
someone
yeah.
who's a professional drummer.
No,
So
that
that's
makes
how it
sense. It
works.
makes sense. Because I know where with working with people, obviously playing in the band myself, when you're songwriting, it can be quite songs can be quite personal
Right,
when you
yeah,
write
yeah.
them. So you go in there and when, for instance, if I write a song for my band and I'll present it, and I've invested a lot of time in it, and then the other person in the band or the other people in the band go, no, I don't like it. It can cause some friction. Now, that's fine because we're just bandmates and we leave. Now, what about you? Because you've obviously it's your sister. So, do you ever get the issue where one of you is really passionate about a song idea and went, that's what I want to pursue, and the other one's like, it doesn't feel right for us, and you have that conversation?
Yeah, so we actually like both on our phones, we have like a notes app of approved and for
Right.
later. So I think so some song that I think I've presented to Chaya, it's been like, I'm not really feeling it, like add another verse or something. And she'll be like,
Mm.
maybe add something else. And then okay, this is for me. And then maybe like 6 months down the line, I'll bring it back up. There's some songs, I've been pushing one song since like 2020. She's not letting it slip through. She's not letting it slip through the
Just
cracks.
keep
Trust me.
pushing, keep pushing.
But then I think one thing that we kind of make as our rule is that we never release anything that we're both not completely like
Mm.
enthralled by. Why? we have to both love the song 100%, because we don't want to get to like performing it live and then someone's like, oh God, now I've got to do it live. Oh, now I've got to do it on TV. Oh gosh, now I've got to do it, or
Yeah.
listen to it on Spotify. So I think that's kind of what glues us together, is having that like spoken rule is no songs that we both don't love. But we can always go back and keep pushing. But fundamentally, yeah, that's what we go by.
That's good. Do you know, I'm envious of that point because when you're in a band with four other people, it sometimes becomes the majority rule.
Okay.
So when you're in a four out of five people push a song through and you're like, oh, I'm not a big fan of this song, but I got to play it.
Mm,
So
yeah.
I'm kind of envious there. I want to talk a little bit because obviously I should have sort of said at the beginning I'll discuss about how I came across. So one of the roles I do with ADK is I'm the typical person nowadays with my phone out,
Nice.
reels, shorts, scrolling. So I do a lot of shorting, and because it's ADK is the account that I'm signed into the most. And most of the people that follow the ADK channel will be musicians, bands, either wanting gigs with us on a night that we're promoting, or other things that we do. So
Mm.
I tend to get a lot of the bands shorts and so forth that come through. So
Okay.
I follow a lot of bands and so forth. And one of your shorts came up, and I was really intrigued by it, and I kind of went down that rabbit hole of discovering. So it's a great tool for it, but how important is the role of social media to you, and how do you manage it on a day by day basis as an artist?
I'd say for us, because we are independent, it is what has made our career from like the beginning when we started in 2022 to now. It's been so important for us to like just like connect with people and find people that we relate to in more ways than just enjoying the music. There's like, I guess, being alternative, there's so many lines that we connect with people. And I think we've been able to. So I'm not sure if you know this, but I've got a disability. It's like a hidden disability. And because it's called, I've got chronic fatigue syndrome and hypersomnolence, which is like chronic pain and chronic tiredness. So when we first started creating music, I was like sleeping like 20 hours a day. So I physically couldn't go out and do shows. I couldn't perform. I was really struggling with like the kind of day-to-day stuff. But it was social media that kind of allowed me to make content, starting off in my bedroom,
Right. Okay.
lip syncing to the songs, and it made music accessible for me. So I was like, okay, now I can connect with the outside world, even though I'm not, really leaving my room, but people can find out about Alt Blk Era, enjoy the music. And as I started getting better over the years, I'd venture out to the garden, and then I'd do some in the street, and I'd start filming content wherever I could, really. And that allowed me to not only get better, but it was something to wake up for, because I think it was, I don't want to say depressing, but it was so hard and I was feeling so low. But music was the one thing that really, lit my soul on fire. And I was like, this is so exciting, and like
Yeah.
responding to comments. And like, I remember the first time a video on TikTok got like 50 likes for us, we were bouncing and screaming. Honestly, I can't, that feeling is something that I'm just going to treasure forever. That those first 50 likes on TikTok, and it was like the world just opened up before us. So yeah, I think social media for us has been just humongous in more ways than just becoming big, like
Mm.
stepping into ourselves, having love for music in the marketing sense as well as the recording sense, and being able to find a community of people that have stuck with us since like 2022 as well.
Yeah.
It's been incredible.
Because I was really interested about the decision so one of the things, well, I should say, one of the things that stood out for me when I was going through the reels was the
Mm,
look. So it was the video I was looking at on the reels was, I can't remember the exact song that you were doing, but it was
mm.
obviously the white dress, the black dress, the
Yes.
contrasted image was really cool. And so when I started going through your YouTube channel, I was like, this is a really cool look. And then I was thinking, has this been their look from day one? And then I sort of saw some live footage from a couple of years ago, and I'm like, well, no, that's a completely different look and I was like, the look from then, I went, you could almost, the music's banging, but the look was like, meh, you could have
Mm.
almost dismissed it. There wasn't anything that really connected or grabbed your attention, whereas the look now instantly grabs your attention. So where did that come from, that thought process?
Mhm. So I think so with like starting from the hair, I guess, with the white hair is something I've always loved it. Since I was little. It's been so random. I'd be like, I look so good in white hair. Like before Alt Black Hair was even a thing. I was like, why
Yeah.
am I in white. And I'd like, if we went like rug shopping, she'd just see me in between the rugs, like, doesn't it suit me? Doesn't it? Just in between this white rug.
Yeah.
But I didn't know why, but I had just an inclination, I guess. And then when we started making music, and I guess like discovering what Alt Blk Era was and how, me and my sister have two completely different personalities, literally completely different music tastes. Everything about us is so opposite, but it works. So it's kind of
Mm.
like, and she's now a fully fledged emo,
Okay.
specifically Midwestern. She loves a bit of Midwestern emo.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of like, so she's just all in black. I don't think she has a color in her wardrobe of any kind. And then I was like, you know what? Well, let me lean into the white because I've always been a bit, OTT. I've been a theatre kid,
Mm.
music. I've been really big and bold with it. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go all in and start dressing white instead of just dreaming about dressing in white. And I think, well, a lot of it was not knowing where to get the clothes from. Like when we first started, it was just like, what looks cool enough that I can find, in town. And then it
Yeah.
kind of progressed into, right, we've got to go hardcore. Where are the vintage shops at? Let's do some deep diving into like proper, like, it's almost like kind of like a Harajuku kind of like Japanese Victorian
Mm.
mesh styling. And yeah, we've just done a real big deep dive into, I think, ourselves. I don't think we've like changed to wear the white and black. I think that we had other limitations when we weren't
Right.
dressing
Okay.
like that. Yeah, yeah, one of them.
It was definitely a visual key kind of element to what I was seeing in there. So it was very cool.
Yes.
Um, Now, obviously, when you're posting content, you're doing videos, you're doing your social medias, etc., and it's great when you're getting the compliments. But we also have the other side of it in social media
Yes.
where we get the trolls. Is probably the best way to, and there are people that literally live on there because they just love to stir things up. I don't think they have anything better to do in their lives apart
No.
from stir things up and spread hatred. But how do you deal with that when you're obviously trying to be very positive about it? You're trying to move your thing forward. You go out there with the best intentions in the world to deliver for people, and it's great to see people are connecting with it.
Yeah.
When you get those negative comments and you read them as a person, as a musician, how do you handle
Mhm.
that?
I think, I mean, with mine and Che's different personalities, like we take it differently. But for me, I've always kind of, one, I celebrated the first one because I thought this is because it's getting to enough people. And I think I'd watch, like, when you watch YouTube videos and try and learn about the industry, and people like, you're not winning if you don't have a few trolls and a few haters, because it means that
Yeah.
your reach isn't broad enough. So I think I've always been like, I've kind of been able to like compartmentalize it and be like,
Mm.
okay, algorithm feeder, love you. Do you know what I mean? Like, let's get a
Yeah.
few more like that in. And even better if I get some people arguing with them, and it just kind of grows it up. And I think just not worrying about it too much, because like, they don't know you. And if they do have like problems, because I feel like if you do go on the internet every day to like troll people, then I think there must be something there anyway, like mental health wise. That must be atrocious for your mental health. Like all you do is hate comment, and then people hate comment you back. That must feel awful. So I kind of don't. I used to kind of argue back and troll back and respond and things like that. But I think as I've got older, because I started when I was like 17. But as I've
Right.
got older, now I'm 22, I ain't got time for that. To be bugging people. And I
You've
just
got
think
plenty of time, trust me.
yeah. But I think it's just like not wanting to like to feed into that emotion. I think that all the time I'm responding to like negative comments, I could be responding to someone who loves the music and
Mm.
connecting with them. So I think just kind of, yeah, just trying to stay focused on what matters and people that enjoy what we're doing. But I think if you ask my sister, she'd say a completely different thing.
I think everyone does manage different. Some people take it very personally, and some people can compartmentalize it, and some people just dismiss it. It's just very for me.
Yeah,
I think that's one of those ones that people see a band that's kind of blowing up or very successful. They read really positive comments. They just think that all they ever get is love because they love the band, and forget
yeah,
that obviously we're still human beings, and unfortunately everything we do creatively, we would
yeah.
love everyone to love it, but we there are always going to be people out there that have a negative opinion.
Because we get a lot of industry plant comments, especially like just like, oh, these have got to be industry plants. No way that
All right.
we even got one that was like, oh, there's no way that they only just found rock in 2022. They must be industry plants and things like that. And it's like, Damn. Okay. Don't know
I
what
think
to do with that information, but
Well, I
okay.
think it's the hardest one for artists like yourself. Well, probably one of the biggest ones I would guess you would get would be they probably don't write their own music. They probably just
Yeah,
singers.
yeah, 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 yeah. Things
Because
like
that's
that.
one of the reasons I always ask about the writing process, because I'm always interested about people that learn multiple instruments, how much of it they do, how much they write with other people. Some people have guest musicians that come in and help them with writing. Some people use producers. Some people write everything and record everything, and then just have a live band that play with them live, that learn the tracks,
Mm.
etc. So I just find that really interesting. But it's that assumption that they see two women on stage and go, well, they're just singers. They're not
Yeah.
actual artists, which is really frustrating for you because you're like, well, no, we do all this work in the background and actually we do all the
Right.
crafting and have to put all the instruments. But it actually ties in to my next question, which is nice and
Lovely.
nicely done. Um, for people outside of the industry who are not musicians, yeah, I think it'd be really interesting for them to understand how much of your time is split as a musician. So
Mm.
is a lot of people go, well, probably about 78% of your time is writing music, and 10% of your time is just doing socials, and the rest of it's gigging. Now, what is the reality? How much time is it spent on social media, managing on doing all the admin, the management, the
Mm.
organization? How much of it is writing? How much of it is the other creatives like music videos and social media reels, shorts? Because I think it's really important for people to understand how much of your time is not just writing a song.
Yeah, okay. Well, I say, like, for me personally, I would say that I am like on 50, I'd say more 60%. I'm 60% social media. That's me all day. Like, that's my main job. I mean, obviously, me and my sister split the roles with management or whatever, but for me,
Mm.
I'm 60% social media. I'm not, I'd say maybe like 10% or less songwriting. So like day to day, like I don't write that often. I usually mean to like batch write for some reason. We'll just like one day, maybe
Yep.
every few weeks, and we'll just write a few songs.
I think you
I'd
have
say
to be in the zone, don't you? I think with writing, you can't
mm,
just stop doing everything else and write for 30 minutes and go, right, that's a song written. I'll go back
yeah,
to doing social. I think you have to be in
exactly.
the zone for it.
And I think, especially because now we've kind of planned out our release schedule for this year, we've got all the songs that are releasing this year already. So we don't really need to write because another thing is because we write so much, we had to stop ourselves because it would end up messing up with our release schedule. Because it's like we've written songs that are better than what's coming out this year. Can we swap them? You know, that kind of
Yeah.
mentality of let's write better. And it's like, you know what? Let's get to that when we're in that kind of headspace because I think as we're going through like the teen years, well, like Che's still a teenager, so it's like as an 18-year-old, she'll be completely different as a 19-year-old. So we don't want to write songs that are going to
Mm.
drop when she's 19, when she's 18, if that makes sense.
Oh, of
And
course. Yeah.
that kind of mentality that we've had to be careful with. But I think like 10% listening to music because I love a bit of headphone action. Me
Okay.
and some like discovering people, usually on YouTube, like finding bands like through their music videos and things like that. I'd say I do maybe like 5% admin and emails. I'm not best at my role. Not really. And I'd say like for like I guess making content and shooting music videos and those kind of things. Um, the rest. I'm not sure what we're on, but one like with my friends have this like joke that I'm always on a meeting, which I absolutely am. I'm always on a Zoom. I am always on a Zoom. There's so many people I think that I connect with over Zoom, like whether it's internationally. I mean, we're on a Zoom now,
Yeah.
and if they can't get to me, I'm on a Zoom. So I think a lot of my time is actually Zoom meetings as
It's all
well.
FaceTime in
It's all FaceTime. I
it.
don't do phone calls anymore.
So we have to talk about the big red herring in the music industry at the moment, which is AI. So AI music
Mm,
industry, AI music, or AI tools, etc. So I'm going to make this a two-part question because the question that comes after this is also a part of about the future. So,
okay.
what do you think AI has any form of role within the music industry? And if so, where would you see that working? And also, where do you see the music industry in 10 years' time in 2036?
So, I mean, it's It's a really, really tricky question. I would say generally, absolutely not, in a strong no. However, in some cases where like accessibility and those kind of needs come into play, I'd be like, I haven't explored them myself in terms of how AI could help people who don't have like mobility in their hands or
Mm,
want to create in that sense. So I believe if it's used to do something that you physically would not be able to do at all, then I think that it's incredible. The same way that we've kind of used social media, because without social media, we wouldn't have been able to grow doing live shows and things like that. But I think that it absolutely has to be like controlled much stricter. Like I've been seeing a number of like songs in the charts that are completely AI and things like that. And I think there's just so much talent that it's not like we're starved of it, and it's not rare, it's not scarce. I think it's everywhere and it needs to be treasured
yeah.
a lot more. And I think that it's going to make like the public maybe think that being an artist isn't as hard, or it's not that much work. You don't have to be that talented because
Mm.
AI will kind of diminish the worth of an artist. And people that have been doing it since they were children to now have a thing. I don't know what to call it. A thing kind of take their roles in that sense as well. So I think AI is scary across all industries, to be honest, not just music.
I think well, what you said there is what also makes sense. It's been going that way since around 2013, give or take. That
Mm,
unfortunately, the music industry, in my opinion, since 2013, when Spotify launched with streaming,
okay, yeah,
became a. It was great that people were able to get access as musicians. We were able to get our musician or our music to more people,
yeah,
but it also made the value of music as a commodity much cheaper. People saw it as
mm,
throwaway because you suddenly had access to millions and millions of songs, which meant the art form was no longer valued as much because you could
yeah.
access so much of it. Whereas when you used to buy a CD, you only had £20 at the end of the month to buy, so you could go and buy two CDs, and you had to pick which two you were going to invest in, and that would be it. For the next month, you were going to listen to those
Yeah.
two albums, and that was your commitment. And that whole world has changed. And I think AI, as you've rightly said, there is a lot of well produced songs, but that's the problem is they are a lot of the time they are sounding really well produced AI music, but there's no soul to it. And that's a huge problem. I mean, if you were to wave a magic wand and for 10 years' time, what would you like the music industry to look like?
Well, I'd say like sonically, I feel like it's been on a really nice journey of people like experimenting with genres. And I don't just mean Alt Blk Era, but just industry wide, it feels like there's less boxes. I think that's so exciting. And I think I'd probably leave it alone actually for 10 years to see how crazy it gets. But a direct change, I think there's quite a few. So like for me, so I did music for like GCSE, and I think that it gave me little to no insight about what the music industry is actually like and what it takes to be an artist. I mean, it just depends. Like, obviously, if you go into like classical music and you need your grades and things like that, but I'm talking like the artists that are going to be, singer songwriters or in bands, and what you knowing a concerto from the 1800s isn't going to help you book a show. But what is going to help you book a show? And I think there's so much information that is kind of like gapped in the school system that I would absolutely love for more people to know and stop seeing music as like a hobby. Because I mean, we started quite young, but I know loads of like some of my artist friends that if they're like maybe like late 20s, early 30s, because they went through the school system thinking that that was like the quickest route. And then it's like, oh, but now when I tell people like I'm in a band, it's like, if you're not already super successful. So it's like the expectations and the reality is so off balance. Like you go to school, you do like, even if you do like university level music, and that isn't what makes you a superstar. And that's kind of what it felt that school was telling me what happens. Like
Right.
you go A level, then you do university, and then you're set. And it was like, actually, what is what is the industry? And the good things about it and the bad things about it. Because
Mm.
even like knowing about dodgy people or dodgy managers or dodgy agents and things like that, like young people should know about it, and parents should also respect that it is a billion-dollar industry. not just a after school club kind of.
Yeah. No, no, good answer. Um, I have one final question then to talk about. So it's really about what is the plans for Alt Black Era now. So you've obviously, what is this year, what's this year and beyond look like for you?
Absolutely bonkers. So start you off strong. We are going to be dropping a song literally every month this year. We are going, I think back to like 2020 up 2022 up Black Era. We was just dropping like out the
Okay.
park. So I think that's really exciting because we've got so much music that we want to share. Like and just that's just been in our brain. So that's going to be dropping. We've got our second EP that we've kind of been waterfalling with Cyber Rating and Tissues, which is dropping May 22nd. And then literally the day before it drops, we've got our headline show in London and we're doing a UK tour. So it's like EP drop on the road around the UK. Did we pick some of our favourite cities to perform in? We absolutely did. Actually, like, especially, I feel like Leeds and Manchester and London have been some of our like best shows to
Right.
date. And our agent was kind of like, "Do you want to do Leeds and Manchester because they're kind of similar?" We were like, "No, they're different enough. Let's go, let's go ahead and book those shows." So the tour, I think, is like the most pressing thing. We're making sure we've got routines. I'm not sure if you've seen any of our live clips, but me and Trey do love a little mid-show routine.
Yeah.
Very, very standard, very drama. Um, and then for the rest of this year, like I said, it's loads of music dropping. I don't want to say too much because I've been known to say too much, but um, I'd say I'll give you the word internationally as well. Maybe that is a
Okay.
little something something.
Little teaser there for
A
us.
little
A little
tease.
teaser. Well, it sounds very exciting. So I'm looking forward to it. And hopefully, if there's one of the shows that once you've got the dates in there that are near me, I might be able to get over to it. But hopefully, fingers crossed. And I'll look forward to, and obviously we're going to cover a load of the songs on the ADK YouTube channel as well. So we'll be checking those out and sharing our thoughts on them as well for everyone. But
Yes.
if you aren't already following on all the social medias on YouTube, which I'm sure you already are, please do make sure you go and check out Alt Black Era. And thank you, Nyrobi, for spending the last whatever, however long it has been chatting with me.
Thank you so much.